From shooting in slow motion, there are 3 things that surprised me. 1, the arrow immediately bounces off the shelf. 2, the fletchings cause the arrow to spin backwards. And 3, how long it takes the arrow to stop flexing. Have you ever heard of frame rates? Yes, frame rates are how many pictures are taken in a video. Like a motion picture, it's because there's a bunch of pictures smashed together to create motion. What that means is normally our human eye can see best at 24 pictures in 1 second. So what you're seeing right now, there's 24 little pictures every second so you can see me. Today we're gonna go shoot our bows, and we're gonna do it at 1,000 frames per second. 1,000 little pictures smashed into 1 second, meaning I can draw that out and it will look natural to us 14 times slower. Let's go do this. The archer's paradox does not have to be that complicated. Once you know what the word paradox means, it's quite simple. A paradox, a seemingly absurd or self-contradictory statement that when investigated or explained may prove to be true. So what's the archer's paradox? What's contradictory that may actually be true? The archer's paradox is that there's a riser in the way of the target, but when we shoot the arrow, we're still gonna hit the target. How? Well, we hit the target by the flex in the arrow. The spine of an arrow is how much it flexes. All arrows flex to some degree, and because they flex, the archer's paradox is true. There is a riser in the way of the target, but we'll still hit the target due to the archer's paradox. Oh my goodness. See that? I think Moses is on the mountain. All right, I came up on a scary shot. We've got a buffalo right up there, 40 yards. If you miss over the hill, it is, well, I think it's gonna go another 100 yards. So let's take a shot. Oh yeah. Good day for a good day. So I have 2 seconds once I push the trigger because the recording time is so small to shoot the bow. So I'm just like snap shooting. Also, I'm gonna use different arrows. I have a bunch of different arrows with different arrow points on it. So the arrows will fly different in slow motion, and you'll get to see how some heavier weighted arrows fly much different than lighter weighted arrows. First thing that's been really surprising to me is how the arrow just jumps off the shelf. As soon as the string releases from your fingers, the arrow bounces off the shelf, it looks like. Like, I originally thought that the arrow slid along the shelf all the way out and down. Wrong. When you shoot, it bounces off basically immediately. The pressure of the arrow tries to go straight, the arrow bends, and that makes it fly off of the shelf. I don't know if this means anything, but I found it really interesting. The second thing that really kind of surprised me is that my helical arrows had a right twist. I expected that, but my straight fletched arrows started off twisting to the left. Halfway through flight, switched to the right. Why? How? What? I don't know if this is due to the fletching hitting the shelf and it going left, but if it starts left, why didn't it continue? And is it because I'm a right-handed shooter? I don't know, but it was shocking to me that the arrow would start to spin in one direction and then switch halfway through flight. One of the cool things we just did is launch our merchandise. We got hats, beanies, hoodies, t-shirts, and that sort of thing. So you can go check that out. That'd be awesome if you guys could order before the 1st of April. That would allow me to put our pre-order in so that I know how much to order. And everybody who has ordered, thank you so much. It helps a lot for this first one so that we can end up getting it in stock. So thanks for helping me out. Got an elk at 40. Let's see what we can do. This isn't my normal me, but this is awesome. It's not too bad for me. Third thing I really didn't expect is how long it would take for the arrows to stop flexing. Now, we talked about spine and flex earlier and how the arrow flexes. I figured it would flex for the first 10-15 yards and then have the fletchings take over and really get a smooth spin. With my arrows at least, it took 40 yards for it to really get a tight, smooth spin where the arrow tip's not swinging back and forth 2 to 4 inches. This shows me how important the spine is to be consistent so that your subconscious can plan for that, because if it's flexing back and forth, and you hit at 15 yards on the 3rd flex, well, that's gonna be about 2 inches to the left. Now, if you have a different arrow that flexes differently, it could be 2 to 4 inches to the right, and your shot could be way off if the spines aren't consistent. And maybe at 25 yards, it had another flex back to the right. So now on the right flex, that's when it hits the target. I found that so interesting, because over 40 yards is like where I don't shoot. I don't really shoot over 40 yards, and that's when the arrow stopped flexing so much. Shot quite good today for me, and I want to take one last take here. I'm coming back past that elk target, so let's take 2 shots no matter what. I'm showing you what I do. All right, there she is at 40 yards. All right, let's see what we can do here. All right, one more shot. Come on. This is when the put the pressure on yourself. Let's go. First shot was awesome. Second shot, dropped it low. I got timid. It didn't stay in my mind. My favorite thing in the world about is to aim. Always played sports where you aim. Basketball, golf. I'm loving archery. Oh goodness. I'm telling you, I could have had 2 perfect shots at the end of the day. I'm gonna end on 2 perfect shots, but look at that first one. And then screwed up on the second one. It's an honor that you watched today's video. You guys have a great day. I'll see you later. Stay shatterproof. He's still up there. He'll come down soon.